With me right now is Beverly Gruber. Bev, can you tell them the different position that you hold in Allentown and also the position you hold at the farm show?
At the farm show, I am the farm products coordinator. I work with 14 different areas. At Allentown, I'm president of the Allentown Fair, but what I do to make a living for all these fun things I do is I work for the Pennsylvania Campground Owners Association.
Again, I understand in that role, you're going to be testifying at a hearing about rural broadband. Broadband is internet service and other services, but think about that as broadband is internet service and rural is outside of the populated areas of Pennsylvania. Is that correct?
That's correct. We have quite a few campgrounds in Pennsylvania, of course, that are in rural areas. And in these areas, the campgrounds are having a terrible time. Used to be when somebody called to go to a campground and spend a weekend, they asked, do you have a swimming pool? Now that's not what they ask. They ask, do you have Wi-Fi? And then this meeting here on Thursday will talk about that and how the rural areas. One example is a campground that had to spend about $89,000 to bring in Wi-Fi so that they could have it. And not only does it have to do with people wanting to run half a dozen devices at each campsite, it also has to do with the office being able to get it. So many reservation systems now are cloud-based, and those cloud-based reservation systems cannot operate unless you have a good Wi-Fi system.
So that seems like a very important thing, and you're going to be testifying about the need for rural broadband. Is that right? And you're going to be talking. Are there any solutions proposed now, or are we still in the stage of just identifying that there's a problem?
We're just identifying there's a problem. The Pennsylvania State Grange has put this program together. It really isn't a testimony. It's more just filling in everybody on the different areas and how it affects people.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you again for all your service to the Allentown Fair, the Pennsylvania Farm Show, and also participating in gathering information that's needed for Pennsylvanians across the state. My job before I was a state representative, I worked for a cable company, and we provided internet in many of the rural areas of Pennsylvania, but I know there's even more much more rural areas of Pennsylvania that could use broadband service. So I thank you for that, being part of that, being part of the farm show and being a good friend for so many years.